I'm Cristina Tumino, a holistic educationist and the founder of the Magical Bodies Method to help parents raise happy and fulfilled children. Today, I would like to talk about fostering independence in children, what to avoid and what to focus on. And at the end of the video, I'm going to share my top 10 tips, very practical tips to support independence and self-confidence. So why independence? Maria Montessori maintained that no one can be free unless he or she is independent. Children's souls, that means this innate, wise, and powerful driven force, guide them towards their unique purpose in life. And in order to aid this force so they can learn how to face challenges in life and grow, we have to support independence and teach them how to take on responsibility for their own actions. And we have to do this since they are born. In this way, children can develop those necessary skills to experience life, to make mistakes, learn lessons, and grow. Supporting independence is vital when parenting. However, this is not what always happens in many families, often because of cultural habits and beliefs. In many societies, we grow up by being served as children, and we repeat this kind of behavior across generations. A good parent is often she or he who does everything for their children, from feeding them, dressing them, tidying up their toys, making their beds, and often making their lives as easiest as possible. This mistaken mentality and habit of servitude, as Maria Montessori maintained, in reality supports slavery rather than independence. It often becomes an unhealthy attachment. On one hand, this behavior feeds and develops not only dependency, but also lack of confidence, empathy, respect, and lack of maturity, as well as laziness. It disables children to own responsibility and understand the meaning of hard work. On the other hand, it gives parents the illusion of being helpful, of having a purpose and a meaning in life. It creates stress and it takes time away from you that you can use for yourself or to do things that you love. Many parents, especially moms, in varying degrees tend to serve their children to show love and care mistakenly. Although it might sound like a noble thing to do, we need to become aware of the negative impact that this can have on children's growth and parents as well. It is important to recognize the fine line that exists between love and something else, because love can easily become attachment, possession, intrusiveness, and fear of loss. And what happens when this child becomes an adult and interacts in his community? Jordan B. Peterson, a Canadian author, professor, and clinical psychologist, talks in one of his books entitled 12 Rules for Life about the Oedipal Mother, who in the intent of protecting her child, she undermines them. The Oedipal mother or father makes a deal that unfortunately, in reality, sounds more like this. And here I'm going to quote Peterson's words. Above all, never leave me. In return, I will do everything for you. As you age without maturing, you will become worthless and bitter, but you will never have to take responsibility. And everything you do that's wrong will always be somebody else's fault. The children can accept or reflect this, end quote. So if you do everything for your child, what is left for your child to do and learn? What if that help becomes expected from the parent and not from the child and its own good? And what if this is then expected from colleagues at work? I'm not suggesting that all parents are Oedipal parents, but from my experience, I can see a common practice and belief of serving the child. I think it is important to bring awareness on this matter because we are not actually helping them and our society by serving them. And through awareness, we can make changes. Through humility and courage, we can improve. This is definitely not an easy job to do, but it is so worth it. And the outcomes, the results at the end are incredible. Overprotection highly hinders independence and growth. We certainly want to protect our children as they are vulnerable and we love them. But the need of protecting children from danger has grown to a point that there is little or no room for risks, mistakes, and healthy development, physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually speaking. Children have an innate drive to take risks, and there is a reason for this. We learn to walk by trial and error and by facing the fear of the unknown. We know that toddlers are very unaware of the dangerous consequences of falling from a certain height or landing on unsafe surfaces. However, it is thanks to this innate force that pushes us towards unknown territories and to take risks that we learn essential skills that allow us to become confident, independent, and safer. If you were born in the 80s or earlier, you probably used to play outdoors freely when you were a child and often returned home with scratches and bleeding knees that you most probably used to hide from your parents because you didn't want to be told off. Such things as encouraging children to climb trees, jump from certain heights, handle glassware, manipulate scissors, and use knives since they are very young, use drills and saws, can make skillful and stronger adults. They develop the confidence to tackle challenges in life. The skills that we learn when we are young become our foundation, and they are often the ones that we know best when we are adults. Defining what overprotective means can be difficult, considering that what can be seen as acceptable practices and styles differ from personal behaviors and cultural beliefs. So how do you know if you are hindering or restricting your child's growth? In this respect, Diana Baumrind, a developmental psychologist, explained in her parenting styles theory that there is a strong relationship between parenting styles and children's behaviors, and how this significantly impacts children's development and outcomes. According to this theory, overprotective behaviors are typical of permissive and authoritarian styles. In the permissive style, the parent is normally responsive, indulgent, and uses little or no rules and discipline. The child is often used to low expectations in performance because he's constantly praised and not challenged. These children tend to be egocentric and not able to take criticism. This can be the case of children hitting or shouting at parents who allow this to happen regularly. In the authoritarian style, the child is instead exposed to rigid rules and strict discipline at the expense of the child's personal freedom, and in my opinion, understanding and discovering of the self. It is a more cold approach, where the child is often not accepted for who she or he is. This can be the case of children almost freezing by a parent's fierce glance. It is the style widely practiced a few generations ago. To understand what kind of approach to use when parenting, self-knowledge is essential, as this will help to find the right balance and tools to better support your children. Likewise, it is crucial to understand that each child is unique and that we need to adapt to the child's personalities without undermining their uniqueness and their true needs. According to Diana's theory, later modified by Maccabee and Martin, the ideal parenting style is the authoritative style. This is a present and loving parent who yet provides structure, discipline, exposes the child to challenges, and has high expectations. So, to conclude, here I come with my 10 top tips to support independence, self-confidence, and respect with your little ones. Number 1, be observant. See what it is they're not getting right. Sometimes these are just little passages, little steps that don't give the confidence enough or the understanding of how to do things for themselves. Number 2, be patient. I know the tendency is to do things for them. It is not easy to watch them trying again, but this is the way for them to learn. And this point is linked to number 3. Let them make mistakes and experience things for themselves actively, not just by watching. Number 4, show them how to risk assess things when they're using certain tools or they would like to perform certain activities such as cooking, cutting, and don't assume that they cannot do it because they are very young. Number 5, break down tasks in little steps if necessary. Sometimes it is quite overwhelming for them to follow so many instructions at once. Number 6, give them time to practice. Don't do things under pressure. Like for instance, when your children need support with wearing the shoes and you are about to leave, you are in a hurry and you just need to leave soon. Create instead opportunities or an activity that is available for them to practice as many times as they need. Number 7, give them rules and tasks to contribute, for instance, with daily house chores, helping to cook, tidying up the rooms, making their beds, etc. When they learn to keep the room tidy, they learn how to organize better their lives. Also, remember to keep eye contact when you talk to them and go to the level if necessary, especially when you are setting rules. Number 8, create routines with visible charts to create expectations so your child knows what to do and when to do it while learning a new habit. Number 9, be consistent. And my last tip is to get into the mentality to always ask yourself, how can I support you to be independent in this specific thing? What is not allowing you to do it yourself? It can take a bit of time to get into the habit of doing this, but if you are consistent, you will start to see the results soon. The more your children become independent and responsible, the more you will have more time for yourself and you will be less needed. That means that you are doing a good job as a parent. If you need any support with this, please get in touch with me at info@magicalparenting.co.uk. Please share this video and don't forget to subscribe. Bye!